Good morning, everybody. I'm Ann Hollows, and I'm going to be your Sherpa for the service today. Welcome to our service for Sunday, February 20th, 2022. From Unity of Wimberley to those of you joining us online, we welcome you today and we embrace your spirit in our community. Inspiration surrounds us everywhere, from the deeds of brave leaders to the words of great teachers. They call upon us to hear God's breath within and forge on. Let's take this time to consider the vital thread that binds all humanity together. This morning, Reverend Jill is in Colorado with her brother Jimmy as he prepares for surgery tomorrow. Our thoughts and prayers surround Reverend Jill and her family, affirming ease and comfort in his healing. Filling in for Reverend Jill this morning, we are pleased to welcome back Reverend Carol Moncada. Yay. Carol has been attending Unity Church for 30 years, serving as a board member, adult Sunday school teacher, worship assistant, and guest speaker. In 2015, she began her ministerial studies with Unity Urban Ministerial School. After graduation and a 9-month internship with us here at Unity of Wimberley, she was ordained a Unity minister in June of 2020. She now serves as associate minister at Unity of Austin with a focus on youth and family ministry and prayer team ministry. So welcome back, Carol, Reverend Carol. We're excited to have you and to learn about living Ubuntu. Now, let's sing our welcoming song with Julie Reagans, Curtis Brengle, Scott Wade, and welcoming today, Jerry Burns.
Take a look at the person next to you. Say God loves you and I love you too. Feel the love and the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. Come together. In the name of love, we come together. Come together, come together, in the name of love. Now look at the person next to you. Say, I recognize the God in you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together, we come together, we come together. In the name of love, we come together, we come together, we come together. In the name of every walk of life, in every creed and color. In kinship we unite. It's in honor of the God in each other. Look at the person next to you. Say, namaste, I bow to you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together, we come together, we come together. In the name of love, we come together, we come together, we come together. In the name of love, we come together, we come together, we come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together, come together, in the name of love.
Good morning, everyone. Please join me all together as we affirm our statement of faith. There is only one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life, God the good, omnipotent. And now let us unite our spirits as we hold this vision for our church all together. We are an open-hearted spiritual community, powerfully transforming our world by honoring the sacred in all. And we practice this mission. Inspired by our shared spiritual awakening, we offer practical teachings that empower healthy, abundant, and meaningful living. Today's daily word reading is inspiration, and the affirmation is, I am grateful to those who inspire me. I admire and respect the sacred calling and work of innovative and groundbreaking thinkers and leaders. The work they have done to forge new paths and lead humanity in new directions inspires me. I've heard inspiration described as the breath of God, an inner quickening. This quickening is mine as I forge new paths and boldly journey forward, creating my life anew. To keep divine inspiration flowing, I make time to rest in contemplative stillness. I begin each day with a prayer for a receptive mind and heart. I pray for the courage and clarity to release my rigid expectations. I live in a state of gratitude for the inspiration that flows from God and the opportunity to share it. Then the Lord God formed man from the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and the man became a living being. Genesis 2:7. And now with our gathering prayer, Jan McGowan.
Good morning, everyone. This morning, the word inspiration. As I was meditating on that particular word that inspires me and the people that I have studied and the people I have known that bring me inspiration, I thought it might be a good thing for all of us to settle in and move into stillness together as we consider our 12 powers that have been given to us through the light of God. The vibration that I'm working with this morning is the vibration of stillness and helping us to ground and be in the moment, totally present. As we consider the light of faith, how are we showing up with conviction and expectancy in our life? The light of understanding, how are we using our life skills in realization and insight to help others to be present? The light of willpower. How are we making our choices? What commitments are we using? How are we willing to use our talents and our skills? The light of imagination. Our vision. What is our vision? What is my personal vision for my life? The light of zeal and enthusiasm. How do I show up in my life? And how do we show up in our lives with devotion? The light of power. Self-mastery, concentration. How do we master the little things within ourselves? We have that power. And the light of love. How do we feel unified with all of mankind? How do we bring harmony into our lives? the light of wisdom, discernment, intuition. How am I using that in my life? The light of strength. How do I show up with my own personal courage, stability, and tenacity to do what is mine to do? The light of order. I have the skills of organization, making adjustments where I need to in my life. Evolution. The light of release. I let go of what no longer serves me. And last, the light of life, vitality, animation. How do I show that in my life, in my presence of being with others? I am grateful for those who inspire me. And so it is.
Broken hearts and broken wings, bring it all, bring everything, and bring the song you fear to sing. All is welcome here. And even if you broke your vow 1,000 times, come anyhow. We're stepping into the power of now, and all is welcome here. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la la la. See the Father and the Son reunited, here they come, dancing to the sacred drum. They know they're welcome here. I see the shaman and the mighty priest, see the beauty and the beast, singing, I have been released, and I am welcome here. Welcome here. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. I stood alone at the gateless gate, too drunk on love to hesitate. To the winds I cast my fate, and the remnants of my fear. I took a deep breath, and then I leapt. I awoke as if I'd never slept. Tears of gratitude I wept, and I was welcome here. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. I'm welcome here, yeah. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. So bring your laughter and bring your tears. Bring your busy lives and your careers, and bring the pain you've carried for years, for all is welcome here. Freedom is not so far away. There's only one price we have to pay. That's to live our dreams until they fade away. And let them go. Live our dreams and let them go. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Got to let them go. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. All is welcome here. All is welcome here. All is welcome here.
Myself together here. The music was beautiful.
Thank you.
All right. Put this here, this here. Well, 2 years. It's been 2 years since I've been here. In fact, the last time I actually talked here was February. It was Black History Month. And gosh, so much has happened. Right? I mean, it's just been a lot. Not just for us individually, but as a nation, as a world, there's just been a lot going on. Now, in my perspective, some of these things, these events have really shown how interconnected we really are. But it's also shown how divided we really are. So, we got some work to do. You know, within unity, our principles, basic principles, are about that connection, that we are all connected. We're relational beings, aren't we? And our relationship of beingness is because of that relationship in God. You know, these universal spiritual teachings that we teach, that we speak about, is about our oneness. Not only to the divine, to God, the many names of God, but about all creation. Because we're all that pressed out expression of the divine. So we're all connected through that thread. We are all equally divine. We are all equally worth so much. Now, that is not, however, what we are seeing, right? We don't see that. We've known that. We're not seeing that equality, that worthiness. If we were, we wouldn't have to have a Black History Month. I think I just lost my mic. No, you can hear me, huh? I'm good? Okay, sorry about that. As I was saying, if we were aware of that, if we lived from that, there would not be a necessity for a Black History Month. Think about it. What does that say? It speaks volumes for a people of a nation to have a Black History Month. It speaks volumes. You know, for far too long, we've believed in a story that was incomplete. And because it was incomplete, the picture was distorted. It's kind of like putting a puzzle together. I don't know about you, but I like to put the edges, right? So it's kind of like connecting all those edges. And then we put a couple of the pieces that connect to those edges. But what we've done here in this nation is said, the puzzle is sufficiently done. It will do. And sadly, it has been doing. We've missed a lot of those pieces. Those pieces haven't been in. And because of that, the story that is told objectively, not objectively, but selectively. You know, those pieces are important. But these events, the pandemic and everything that's happened, things are changing. The shift is happening. There's another shift happening. You know, and although the observance of Black history is almost 100 years old, and we've gone through some of the struggles, the civil rights movement made some changes, I believe that it wasn't until we witnessed the murder of George Floyd by a police officer live that we didn't start to wake up. And when I say we, I mean white Americans, specifically white Americans, and realize the work that we have got to do. And there's a lot of work that needs to be done. You know, education is the first step. It can change one's whole perspective. It can awaken you. It has awakened me. I've been doing a lot of educating, a lot of learning, and a lot of unlearning. You know, one of the many things that I've been learning is some of the terminology that we used. And one of those is learning to use the term enslaved instead of slave. The Africans who were stolen from their lands, well, they weren't slaves. They were kings and queens and warriors. They were mothers and fathers, sons and daughters. They are not only the ancestors of our Black American brothers and sisters, they're our ancestors as well. Ancestors who had homes, families, communities. And community was everything. In Africa, there is a saying, Ubuntu, 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 which literally means that a person is a person through other persons. Another translation is, I am who I am because we are who we are. It is the concept of Ubuntu. Now, the Archbishop Desmond Tutu, who we just lost this past December, expounded on this human connectedness, where he defines Ubuntu as my humanity is caught up, is inextricably bound up in what is yours. And in his short essay, Ubuntu, on the nature of human community, he wrote as follows. In our African worldview, we have something called Ubuntu. We say, Ubuntu, Ubuntu, Ubuntu. And this expression is difficult to render in English. But we can translate it by saying a person is a person through other persons. We need other human beings for us to learn how to be human. For none of us come fully formed into this world. We would not know how to talk, how to walk, to eat as human beings, unless we learned how to do these things from other human beings. For us, the solitary human being is a contradiction in terms. Ubuntu is the essence of being human, he goes on to say. It speaks of how my humanity is caught up and bound up inextricably with yours. It says, not as Descartes said, I think therefore I am, but rather, I am because I belong. I need other human beings in order to be human. The completely self-sufficient human being is subhuman. I can be me only if you are fully you. I am because we are, for we are made for togetherness. We are made and created for a delicate network of relationship, of interdependence with our fellow human beings, with the rest of creation. I have gifts that you don't have. You have gifts I don't have. We are different in order to know our need of each other. To be human is to be dependent. Now, Tutu understood that our interdependence with each other was a part of what it meant to be living as the image of God. And he goes on to say that God has created us, upholding us in being from moment to moment, providing us with our very existence. Despite everything that conspires to deny this truth, each one of us is of immense worth, infinite value, because God loved us. That is why we are created. Thus, our value is intrinsic to who we are. It comes with the package of being human. It depends neither on extrinsic attributes such as ethnicity or skin color, nor on our achievements, however that might be computed. Our worth stems from the fact that we exist only because of that divine love. So this is not just words. It's not just a philosophy, but it's a way of living. And Ubuntu is a way of being. You know, living Ubuntu speaks to Unity's fifth principle. And many of you will know this, that it's not enough to know the truth, right? We are mandated to live the truth. We must be doers of the truth. And that's truth with a capital T. We must be beers of the truth. That's the way Jesus lived. You know, and he didn't just speak the word, he lived the word. He was the word. And by living and being truth, you know, he inspired others to be the same. And that energy of consciousness changed the earth. It changed the consciousness of the earth. You know, we too are the word spoken into existence. The Bible is full of affirmations, of stories, of how we are spoken into this existence by being, by doing. And I'm going to read from you from the book of James. James was a follower of Jesus. Now, they don't really know who the author was, right? But they call it the book of James, and he was writing to the newly formed communities, and they were still Jewish, they were considered Jewish Christian communities. And he tells them, and this is in verses 19 through 25, "You must understand this, my beloved. Let everyone be quick to listen, slow to speak, slow to anger. For your anger does not produce God's righteousness. Therefore, rid yourselves of all sordidness and rank growth of wickedness, and welcome with meekness the implanted word that has the power to save your souls. But be doers of the word, and not merely hearers who deceive themselves. For if any are hearers of the word and not doers, they are like those who look at themselves in the mirror, for they look at themselves and on going away immediately forget what they were like. But those who look into the perfect law, the law of liberty, and persevere, being not hearers who forget, but doers who act, they will be blessed in their doing." So, there are many ways to live Ubuntu, to living a fifth principle life. You know, Unity gives us a blueprint for living truth through our 5 principles. You know, those universal spiritual teachings that are our foundation and contained in many of the world's religions. And I want to share some excerpts from the Unity article from this month's Black History Resources. If you've not been on their website, unity.org, and looked at the Black History resources, I invite you and encourage you to do so. Now these, it's just some excerpts. I won't read everything, but it is from the Black leaders in Unity and how these principles are a blueprint for living for equality. Reverend Cherie Taylor Jones tells us that with our first principle, that there's only one power and one presence, God. That this principle tells us that each person is divinely made, regardless of the color of our skin or of our faith. And that in our second principle, we are each of God. And this means that we are all worthy and more than enough simply because we exist. The third principle is about our thoughts, and that what we hold in our beliefs is the world that we create around us. But it also gives us permission to change our beliefs. All those beliefs that are not like God. That fourth principle, you know, it's easy to forget truth unless we align with that through prayer, through meditation. We align with that deepest part of us, which is God. And our fifth principle, we are here to live the truth we know. Imagine if every person we saw God. Reverend Kevin Cottrell Ross tells us that when we really understand our oneness with one another, then we move from holding the idea of unity as a passive virtue and a passive philosophy to become unifiers. And he says, especially for Unity people, and those of us who consider ourselves positive idealists and new thought, it is time for us to move beyond mere philosophy and rhetoric of these beliefs and move from being practitioners to what he calls way showers. And for many of us, that's going to prompt a new type of spiritual activism that is needed at this particular time. And then Reverend Kathy Beasley, she said the words of the teachings are just that, words. And they will always be words until there's a systematic shift from words to a more consistent practice in our world. The unity teachings have to become just words, that inventory language of justice seeking. Then it has to become the bellwether of compassionate response to the global distress call. She says, I believe we find ourselves in what is called fifth principle times, where it's not enough to move through the world knowing the truth. We have to, on every occasion, seek to rise up and live out loud the truth that the soul has always known. And I have to agree with her on that. And so, Ubuntu, let me get back to my other. Ubuntu and our fifth principle is really about living these principles, not just speaking to them. So I want to share this little story, and it's about bees, and it's by an unknown author. And he says, my dad has bees. Today I went to his house, and he showed me all of the honey he had gotten from the hives. He took the lid off a 5-gallon bucket full of honey, and on the top of the bucket on top of the honey, there were 3 little bees struggling. And they were covered in sticky honey and drowning. I asked him if we could help them, and he said he was sure they wouldn't survive. Casualties of honey collection, I suppose. I asked him again if we could at least get them out and kill them quickly. After all, he was the one who taught me to put a suffering animal or bug out of its misery. He finally conceded and scooped the bees out of the bucket. He put them in an empty yogurt container and put the plastic container aside because he had disrupted the hive with the earlier honey collection. And there were bees flying all over outside. We put the bee containers on a bench and left them there to their fate. My dad called me out a little while later to show me what was happening. These 3 little bees were surrounded by all of their sisters, because all of the bees are females, and they were cleaning the sticky, nearly dead bees, helping them to get all the honey off of their bodies. We came back a short time later, and there was only 1 little bee left in the container. She was still being tended to by her sisters. When it was time for me to leave, we checked one last time, and all 3 of the bees had been cleaned up enough to fly away. The container was empty. Those 3 little bees lived because they were surrounded by a community who would not give up on them. Family and friends who refused to let them drown in their own stickiness and resolved to help them until the last little bee could be set free. We could all learn a thing or two from bees. And so, living Ubuntu, living our principle 5, we must be beers of the word. Ubuntu, Ngamuntu, Gabantu. Namaste. Let us prepare now for meditation. I invite you now to settle in as we enter into this time of sacred communion. And I invite you to gently close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. Move your attention to your breath, slowing it down, following that movement through your body, allowing it to relax your body, and gently letting go with each exhale, and breathing in that holy breath of love. Allowing yourself to relax further into it. Giving yourself permission for this sacred pause, this letting go. Breathing in, and as we feel our chest expand, you can feel that natural opening of the heart, dwelling in this present moment, gently, gently, letting go. Loving Spirit, I turn to you this morning and align with your presence within. May all that I do this day flow from my deep connection with you. For in this realization of this oneness, I am aware of my connection to all things. I am because you are. I am because we exist. And in the stillness, I can find my deepest me, that deepest part of me that is God. And in the silence, I linger for a moment. Today, I behold the Christ, the divinity in all of your creation. I walk in the light of love, of connection, of oneness. I see you in all that I meet. Thank you, Mother, Father, everything God, for being the life and the love in me, through me, and as me. And it is through the name and the nature of our way shower, Jesus Christ, and that indwelling Christ within each one of us, that this is so. And so it is. Amen.
Reverend Carol, for sharing your powerful and beautiful words with us today. That was very special. Now, with grateful hearts, let us practice our prosperity consciousness as we circulate our good. Unity of Wimberley is a tithing church that shares the gifts we receive as an affirmation of oneness with the divine flow. We thank you for the gifts you've sent us as we affirm the gifts you are sending now. We know Spirit is working through us to supply all that is needed for our community and beyond. Let's take a moment to bring this truth into our hearts as we prepare our offerings and as our ushers come forward. As a reminder, here are some ways you can share your gifts with Unity of Wimberley. Text GIVE to the number on the screen. Click the donate button on our website. Mail a check to 455 White Rings Road, Wimberley, Texas, 78676. Tap GIVE on our church app, and on Venmo you can search Unity of Wimberley. And now, together, let us offer this affirmation of abundance. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
What would you think if I sang out a tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me? Lend me your ears and I'll sing you a song, and I'll try not to sing out of key. I get by with a little help from my friends. I get by with a little help from my friends. Gonna try with a little help from my friends. What do I do when my love is away? Does it worry you to be all alone? How do you feel at the end of the day? Are you sad 'cause you're on your own? Oh, I get by with a little help from my friends. I get high with a little help from my friends. Oh, gonna try with a little help from my friends. Need anybody? Well, I need somebody to love. Could it be anybody? Want somebody to love. Would you believe in a love at first sight? Yes, I'm certain that it happens all the time. What do you see when you turn out the light? I can't tell you, but I know it's mine. I get high with a little help from my friends. I get by with a little help from my friends. Oh, I'm gonna try with a little help from my friends.
Do you not wish you could do that? I'm pretty sure I sound a lot like that when I'm alone in my car with the windows up, but that's the only time. Thank you, guys. That was awesome. All right, with full hearts, let us bless these gifts. Together, we bless these gifts and the givers with our love and gratitude. All right. As we move towards the end of our service, we'd like to take this moment to share a few things. Please join us next Sunday as we welcome back Michael Finn for his talk on finding comfort in the uncomfortable. If you've noticed that our highway roadsides have had some much needed TLC, we left it a long time this time. It's because our awesome Adopt a Highway crew was out in force. 21 bags of debris, to put it nicely. 1 truck tire, 1 giant mud flap, and 1 dresser later, our hillside was much improved. Thank you so much, Richard Newsom, John and Sharon Criswell, Karen Stocky, Stephanie Longbreak, Ron Steele, Steve Alfelder, et moi. As we care for our children, Evie will be holding our YFM Sunday school classes online for now. We are continuing to seek a YFM director and Sunday school teacher to staff our youth education department. We also are still asking volunteer help for our kids for when we resume in-person classes. As Reverend Jill is out of town for a few weeks, we're postponing our Wise Women gathering for this month, so stay tuned for info on the upcoming March date. Please tune in every Thursday at 1 p.m. on Facebook Live for Midday Reflections with Reverend Jill, as she shares readings, meditations, and affirmations. You can drop off your Feed My People donations in the front foyer, or you can send monetary donations directly to Crisis Bread Basket at P.O. Box 1721, Wimberley 78676. Please email your questions, concerns, or prayer requests to minister@ministerofunityofwimberley.com. And if you'd like to schedule a time to meet with Jill, you can email business@unityofwimberley.com, and Leah will get that going for you. Final reminder, our chaplain, Jan McGowan, is available to pray with you after the service. You can also fill out a blue prayer request sheet for the prayer box and a yellow gratitude sheet for our gratitude jar. Both are located at the buffet in the fireside room. If this is your first visit with us, and I don't think it is for anybody that I see, or if your contact information has changed, oh, yay! I'm talking to you. All right, please consider filling out a blue card on the visitors table in the front foyer so that we may connect or reconnect with you. And now, please join me in our prayer of protection together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Now our closing song.
Living on one planet, joining in one family. We are all one. One people, living on one planet, joining in one family. We are all one. One people, living on one planet, joining in We